Hello friends, welcome to Toy Cafe. I am your host, and today in this video we have this gorgeous little dollhouse room that was put together by my very best friend in the whole wide world, Darling Dolls. And she has allowed me to upload this and to narrate over it so I can let you know all the little steps and things that she's doing. But if you would like to see more of this kind of stuff, check out my channel and her channel, and you'll be able to see quite a variety. So this is a dollhouse kit, and like most kits, it comes with all the materials you need. Everything's already supplied, mostly painted, and this one includes a music box as well. Again, unfortunately, like most music boxes, the music inside is copyrighted, but just imagine a pleasant little tune playing, and it comes out that much better. Darling Dolls has brought in the assistance of the little calico critter bunnies to help her show off what she's building. So she's starting out with that lovely wardrobe, or chifforobe, if you will. Not many people call it a chifforobe anymore. I think it's a fun word. But just this little cabinet here, and you can see she's starting with some pieces of paper with flowers on them, and she's gluing them to these boards. These boards are going to become the raised panels for the doors, and those long pieces in the back are going to become the cabinet itself. So it's going to look like it's a cabinet with raised panel doors with beautiful flowers painted on, a real kind of homely country kind of look, but just gorgeous. Look at that. You gotta get everything nice and straight and even if you want it to look its best. Here you can see one of the panels is much bigger than the others, and this is something you'll see a lot in real doors. It's because a small panel next to a big panel looks better. Usually better than two even panels, unless everything else is even or you're trying to offset something. Usually it's best to go with uneven. It's a little bit strange, I think, a little bit unusual. So lots of glue later and lots of pieces assembled, and the cabinet is together. Now Darling Dolls is adding a few more pieces to create the toe kick and the top. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? I really like the shaped toe kick at the bottom. Looks very pretty. Really sets the piece off. A couple of beads for doorknobs, and it's done. Next up we have this cute little vanity table, and this is a little bit more difficult than the cabinet, but still nothing you can't tackle on your own if you ever want to build a kit like this, or even make it from scratch. Now she's using this oval, and she's gluing on an oval that she cut out of this mirror-like material. This is just a type of film paper, and it looks really good if you do it right. Unfortunately, it's very easy to wrinkle when you're gluing it down, and sometimes that can look pretty terrible. But you can always fix it by gluing another layer on top of it, and yeah. You can fix everything. There's no mistakes, there's just extra work. Anyways, so here are some more of those flower paintings that are going to become drawer fronts for the front of this vanity table. And Darling Dolls has already glued up the top, and some of the other pieces needed to create the stepped look. Now she's attaching those drawer fronts on there. Don't they look cute? Again, get them nice and straight and they'll look fantastic. It doesn't matter that it doesn't actually look quite the same as a real vanity. As long as everything's neat and straight, your eye doesn't really question it. It just looks nice, and you're happy with that. There we go. There's a space for the drawers. And now Darling Dolls is going to attach the legs. This is the tricky part because these legs have very little surface area to glue on. So really what you have to do is glue them on and then just hold them until the glue is tacky enough that you can let go. And that can be like a minute, depending on the glue, to up to 10 minutes if your glue doesn't dry so fast. So there's the second top going on, and the mirror to finish off the vanity table. A little more knobs to make it look fantastic. There we go. Isn't that nice? And if you have a vanity table, you need a vanity stool. Some people use a chair. I prefer the stool. Darling Dolls is making it very comfy here. Lots of padding. She has switched up to the hot melt glue and the glue gun. And the glue gun really shines when you want things to stick quickly and cleanly. And here she's using it to attach the fabric to the stool. An excellent use there. A little bit of trimming, a little more glue, and there we have the cushion. Just about ready to go. We gotta trim off the excess. Glue on some more of these legs. The hot melt glue is actually a good choice for these legs because you need them to stick and stick well right away, so you don't have to sit there holding them. And some lace around the outside of the stool. You can hide a lot of things with lace. You can hide up any spots where you didn't trim so nicely or where there's seams. A little bit of lace goes a long way. That's why a lot of doll houses are very lacy, so you can hide stitches and things. So now we're building this gorgeous canopy bed, and we're starting it with the mattress. Darling Dolls is using more hot melt glue there to attach the foam that makes up the mattress to make it look soft and cushy. And one of the important things to remember whenever you're making a little dollhouse like this is no one is actually going to sleep in this bed. It seems a little obvious, but because of that you can take shortcuts and do things that you wouldn't normally do if you were making a real bed. Because like I said, no one's going to sleep in it, so it doesn't have to be as strong, it doesn't have to be as soft, although you still want it to look soft. So now she's covering up with a cloth there, and this is a good example of what I mean. Normally this would be the fitted sheet that goes around the bed, but in this case it is just a piece of cloth that is wrapped around, and when you're done and it's trimmed, it looks like a beautifully fitted sheet that looks very soft and comfy. So now we got some big pieces of flower motif painting going on here, and Darling Dolls is going to glue those to the headboard and the footboard. Here she has switched to a glue stick. A glue stick is about halfway between white glue and hot melt glue. It's thick and sticky, so it sticks right away, but it's still strong like white glue. But it does have a tendency to wet paper a little bit if you use too much, so you still have to be careful with that. But it's one of the types of glue I like using quite a bit with paper products. Now she is using hot melt glue to assemble the canopy. This is just like the table legs, very little area to glue, so you need something that's going to stick quickly and strongly. And here are the posts for the bed, and again she's gluing on the finals with hot melt glue because just like before, quick and strong. There we go, adding a piece of card to the bottom of the mattress. This is a good thing to do even if the kit doesn't call for it, because it'll give you a place to anchor everything to and gives you a final look on the bottom side of the bed if you're concerned about that. Now you usually don't see that part, but Darling Dolls wanted to make sure it was nicely finished because, well, she's just like that. She goes the extra mile and makes sure all the details are ready to go. More hot glue, and we'll attach the canopy to the posts, and the posts have already been attached to the rest of the bed, onto the sides of the headboard and the footboard. And the only thing holding the footboard and the headboard on is just some glue attaching it to the mattress. Yeah, I don't need the whole bed frame, we just need the bits that we see. A little more lace around the outside to finish things off so you can hide all the little sins that you might have there. All the way around so it looks nice. Trimming around the posts. Little extra pink there. I think this is an addition by Darling Dolls. She just loves pink, so always has to add a little bit more. I think it looks very cute. This is an interesting touch. By trimming the lace, she can actually fold it back and make it look a little fancier. So now we're adding some tooled fabric to our canopy to give it that gossamer finish. I've never actually seen gossamer fabric in real life. It's always just this tooled fabric. Well, that's okay. I think this looks pretty. Now you may notice that there are globs of glue at the top there. Little spots of hot melt glue that you can see through the sheer material. That's okay. Darling Dolls has a plan for that. She's going to finish it off so we don't see any of that. But in the meantime, she's attaching finals onto the top of the posts, and those will help hold down the sheer material as well. Make sure everything's all nice and together, and there we go. A little more lace hides everything. You wouldn't even know that she used hot melt glue at all. Doesn't that look fantastic? Now here's the real hard part, tying a little tiny bow into the ribbon. But like most of these things, she rises to the occasion and produces the cutest little bow you've ever seen. Very nice. A little more glue across the top. This time she's using white glue and more pink ribbon just to hide a few more of those glue spots there. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Just fantastic. Okay, let's cut some more material here. The cutter she's using is called a rotary cutter, and it's kind of like a pizza slicer, except that wheel is razor sharp. It's very nice for cutting material precisely because it doesn't fold or pucker on you like it can with a pair of scissors or with a pair of shears. So a nice little tool there to use. She is of course making pillows. You can tell by the stuffing and the sewing up the end there. You can actually make pillows with glue very convincingly. And they look pretty good, but sewing really, I think, does the best job overall. It just depends on how good you want them to look. I actually end up using glue most of the time. Honestly, my sewing isn't very good, but Darling Dolls' sewing is excellent. And she's even sewing on the little bow there. Yeah, that looks fantastic there. A little bit of fuzzy material to be a very thick blanket to go on top. Keep whoever sleeps in that bed very toasty warm. And now we will assemble our room. First on is the music box. You gotta get that anchored to the wall, and the little armoire or chifforobe goes on top of that to hide it out of sight. It also makes it sound a little better when it's in a little box. If you have a music box that doesn't sound very nice, try sticking it in a little box, a cardboard box or a wooden box, and it usually sounds a little bit better. Just something to keep in mind. There goes those adorable little pillows. And the stool as well. Some other accessories we didn't see because those are very simple but enjoyable. Although the violin was far from simple. It was actually extremely complex, very difficult to make, and it didn't end up on video because it would have just been a shot of Darling Doll's fingers as she struggled with the little teeny tiny pieces. So not much to see there that would have been interesting, but that was one heck of a build. Some more pictures on the wall. Always gotta have pictures. It really makes the room look lived in when there are pictures on the wall. So there we go. What an adorable little room. This is a very fancy little place. I would say this room belongs to a little girl or a little doggy who practices violin, is a little bit musical, but definitely likes to think of herself as a princess. And this is a room fit for a princess. Doesn't that look fantastic? Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, check out the other videos on my channel. Please consider subscribing and hitting that little bell, or also check out Darling Doll's channel and subscribe there and hit the bell there as well, as she has lots of good content over there. As always, thank you for watching.